from the News Channel 5 network. This is the plus side of Nashville.
Hi, and welcome to the plus side of Nashville. I'm Tuwanda. I bet if you ask any veteran about his or her transition from military to the civilian world, and they'll tell you it was an adjustment. You know, it's hard to fully understand the military culture if you haven't been a part of it. We'll talk about the unique challenges that many veterans face and how one organization is working to restore that sense of military teamwork through extreme sports. Doesn't that sound fascinating? But first, if you're a caregiver of an aging loved one, or you know someone who is, then you know it can be exhausting. Mindful Care Adult Day Services is a nonprofit in Rutherford County that is there to help with the aging family member and the caregiver. And here to tell us more is Tom Tozer, who's the organization's board president, along with Jamie Waters, who's the program director.
Hello.
Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's definitely a need for these types of services. As we know, the baby boomers are getting older.
Right.
And it's really important that the caregiver have some relief from time to time.
Absolutely.
Talk about what you all do.
Well, that's one of the main things is we do give that opportunity for the caregiver to get the relief. We're a adult day service, so we're Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But of course, that depends on what the caregiver needs in their life. Maybe it's just they need a day to go shopping or get their hair done, you know, things that they need to do for themselves. That way they stay healthy and they stay intact for that person that they love so much. And what's great is they get to come home at the end of the day versus after they've been with us all day. And we provide love and care, but we also provide the things to help maintain or, you know, to keep it from progressing as much. So we do a lot of cognitive stimulation, trivia, puzzles, different things like that to keep it going.
So you're primarily working then, Jamie and Tom, with folks that have dementia or Alzheimer's.
We do, but some cases it's just a person that maybe they're isolated. Maybe they can't really be at home alone. Maybe it's not Alzheimer's, dementia, maybe a little compromised memory. Based because of other things like Parkinson's or something like that, and we also can help them. So it's just for anyone 55 and older, right? Okay, and what they need and what that caregiver needs. So we try to keep them where they're not home and they're not just isolated from the world. And we call it the club. I'd never refer to it as adult day service. So when they come into the club, that's their place.
Yeah.
And then the caregiver can go and do what they need to do, and they have that peace of mind that, hey, they're going to get cognitive stimulation and physical exercise. We have a grant through the United Way, so every day we do a 15-minute routine from the chairs because balance is an issue, so we do it safety first. They get the exercise they need to keep going, to keep moving, keep those muscles churning as much as we can. And then they get social. They're not at home staring at a TV, you know, all day long. They're actually interacting with each other and laughing and cutting up, and we keep it very fun. We're not your typical quiet place, or you walk in, you just see everybody sitting. We get very active. We have a lot of fun, and we laugh, and we cut up with them just like we would cut up with anyone else. We don't single them out. I mean, they're all important to the club, and that's how they feel every day when they walk through our doors. Yeah. So
it sounds like it would be a great place to be, Tom, if you
Jamie is one of our big cheerleaders. You can tell.
Well, it sounds like it.
I could sit here and listen to her for hours
I know.
because she and her staff members are really the fuel that runs the program. They're the ones that are there with a hands-on work every day, and they work with the people. And it's true. If my mother, if I were looking for a place for my mother, and she had Alzheimer's, I would want to find a place, obviously, that was affordable, but even more important, I think, a place that was happy, offered a comfortable, safe environment, a place of joy. And I think that you could be there at Mindful Care for 5 minutes and you would see,
Definitely.
you would see that happening. People are having a good time.
Yeah.
And the socialization, I think, is so important for these people. That is, because so many people are at home, shut away, and they're isolated, and that is probably the worst thing that you can do for them. They need to be out and around and socialize, and they also take field trips.
We do.
Really?
They do.
What kinds of field trips?
We just went to the Nashville Zoo, Grassmere Zoo, this past Wednesday. So that was a great trip. We got to see all the animals. It was great weather that day. It was beautiful.
We rented wheelchairs for everybody.
We rented wheelchairs.
And there they went.
It was
great.
through a grant we have with the Community Foundation in Murfreesboro. Thanks to them and that grant, we actually have been doing a field trip every month since January, and we'll continue.
So how many folks are we talking that are a part of the club?
Right now we have 13.
Okay.
But we can only have up to 9, so they rotate.
Oh, I see.
You know, some come every day of the week, some come 2 days a week. You know, it's like I said, based on what that caregiver's needs are. Some of them have to work, and we've been able to keep spouses employed because they didn't have to quit their job to take care of their loved one. That's why our program, to me, is so much of a mission, because it really is a need.
Jamie, that's an important point, because you know, a lot of folks, we have to continue to work.
Right.
Even though we have a family member or loved one that needs that care, we still have to go to work.
Right.
And when you have an aging parent, it can take its toll on a family's financial situation. And we were talking about earlier, Tom, the fact that the baby boomers are getting older, so the aging population is growing. So there's going to be more and more of a need for this. How cost effective is mindful care versus, say, if we were going to put someone in a nursing home or have assisted living type of facility?
Yeah, Genworth did a study in 2016, and the average cost of nursing home care in Metro Nashville is about $70,000 a year, and that's the average. Assisted living runs about $50,000. Mindful care, and it is a 5-day-a-week program. It's not all 7 days, but for 5 days a week all year, it'll be about $10,000.
Wow!
So
what a difference!
You know, it is. It's a big
difference.
difference for people. It's affordable, and like Jamie said, the schedule is, you know, you can bring mom for half days. You can bring mom for 2 full days a week, or you can bring mom for 5 full days a week. You can continue employment, and that's a big deal, where caregivers have to not only have a break and have a respite to run errands or go shopping, but they may have to continue working to keep their health insurance. So it is invaluable. And you know, day service, adult day service is going to be the coming thing. We're going to have to really look at that seriously, because as we talked about earlier, there are about 5.3 million people in the country today who have Alzheimer's. In 2030, that number will double. In 2050, that number will triple. And then if you look at, in a family, usually there is 1 or 2, maybe 3 people who serve as caregivers throughout the day. Multiply that by 2050, by 45 or 50 million people. Alzheimer's will touch the lives of many, many people. It will affect us economically. It will affect the consumer buying public. We'll all be affected by it.
And it could be us one day.
It could be.
That's exactly right.
Do you see a special need that Mindful Care has? I know with nonprofits, there's always a need for funds.
There is. We have been able to keep our fees so, I mean, you know, low, because we do grants, a lot of grants. We have grants through the United Way, Baptist Healing Trust, Community Foundation, but we need more people, you know, that have a connection. Maybe you have someone and you know how Alzheimer's or compromised memory can affect, and maybe you can sponsor different things, or make donations in forms of snacks. I mean, they have snacks that we do. They love Little Debbie. We keep Little Debbie in business.
Well, that's good to know. They're a Tennessee-based company.
Yes.
Anybody listening to that?
That's
Yeah. And we also need volunteers.
Okay.
We rely heavily on volunteers. I do have 2 part-time staff assistants, but we always are looking for groups that want to come in to sing. We love music, we love dancing. We have a lot of dancers. We just want anybody that might have a gift or monetary or just a talent to feel like call us, contact us, and share it. Share it with us.
And I know they would love to have folks come sing, dance, and bring animals or what have you. Therapy animals. I know that would be a lot of fun.
We're on the brink of Mindful Care is right now looking at a possible expansion program.
Right.
Perhaps a capital campaign, which would be an incredible endeavor for an organization of our size. But we would like to have a standalone facility someday that perhaps has the capacity of 3 or 4 times the number of people. So for the audience out there, it's important for you to know that you'll be hearing more about Mindful Care. We'll be one of these days out there stomping on the sidewalk, knocking on doors, and raise funds, because we're talking to a foundation who's interested.
That is fantastic.
And they match funds. So
I think we have information too, where we can, there you have, if you would like to help out, there's their email address, mindfulcare.org at Gmail, mindfulcare.org@gmail.com, and there's their phone number as well, 615-542-4371.
And the website is mindful-care.org. And that has everything. The website has all kinds of information.
Fantastic.
There's also some great videos on there too.
Okay.
So,
well, Jamie and Tom, thank you both, and thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you very much for what you do. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Well, when we come back, we'll get to know more about Veterans Adventure Group, an organization helping veterans create a bond and a sense of purpose similar to the one that they had in the military. We'll be right back.